I'm Levy, your friendly neighborhood Chibi Leviathan, and I'm here to talk about my Session 5 recap for the Shifting Wars, a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. So to start off on Session 5, we were still in the forest. We had finished killing those Ettercap spiders, and we started off by trying to get silk glands from them. We were largely successful. We got around 5. Hush also took the time to go and search for the missing herbalist apprentice and found his body, found on it a Harper's pin, and took it with her and disposed of the body by kicking it down the stump it was in and basically giving it a burial. We returned and told that to the herbalist. We gathered some of the berries that we found wild in the forest where the Ettercaps were and avoided the tree that still had the blue bees because we were told that they were territorial. Mako and the herbalist then went into the mushroom ring and talked with the fairies who were willing to give up some of their berries for us to take back to the town. And overall, our little mission was a success. So we headed back to the town, and when we were there, we cashed in the quest with the herbalist. Hush, I believe, also went to the Adventurers Guild and reported in that we had finished there and tried to get the money for the entire crew. However, they were not allowed to because of the big stink we had put up before, making sure that the clerk only gave out rewards as they were justly earned. So he wasn't willing to give the whole group's money to one person in case it was stolen. Kilgore then took the money that he had collected already and went off to the post office to send a letter to his wife. Kira went to investigate the tavern to make sure we still had a place to stay and got all of the lovely pricings from our innkeeper about the options for the night. Mako and Kilgore decided that they didn't want to spend the money on lodgings, so they went and found a rock by a river and spent the night out there and seemed to have a lovely time. In the meantime, Rick went down to the church, since that's where a lot of our refugees were, and upon finding out that it was a church to Shantia, that there was a priest there doing blessings, he went to try to get a blessing, and in order to make an offering, took out the little doll that he had been carrying, which was like a little Warforged girl doll, placed it on the altar and tried to offer it up to Shantia. Unfortunately, for some reason, it turns out this doll was cursed, and so Shantia, in her benevolence, decided to destroy it, and apparently, thus doing, destroy a plot line or subplot that we had been carrying around for a little bit, which we didn't know about until after it was destroyed. That was a little bit of an embarrassing moment for Rick, because he didn't know that it was cursed, or that Shantia would do that, or that his offering would kind of not be an offering. He took the time then to just kind of check in on the refugees that were still there and head off to the general goods store, where the DM made it very clear that there's a gacha machine, and I could not resist going to play the gachas. Then Hush took their time as well, going to check on the people at the church and having conversations before heading off to bed. Hush, Rick, and Kira all took nights in the inn, I believe at potentially varying prices, just for the safety, the security, and the meals included. And at the gacha machine, Rick rolled terribly on the first one and got a lump of coal, and then rolled a natural 20 on the second one and got a luck stone. So now having a second item of magical property to attune to, he went to bed and attuned. We also found out at the tavern that there was in fact another little quest line for us to follow along. There's a missing child, and their grandmother has been in town asking for help. The guard have not been available to go out or have not found him yet. So we went to bed with that information and woke up and went to the Adventurers Guild all together to claim our spoils from the Herbalist mission and from the previous mission of escorting the town to safety that we were promised we would get some sort of compensation for at the guild that morning. We did get a little bit of the gold that they still had in stores for us, and I believe that they said they were still investigating the other group in order to potentially punish them. We then found that the grandmother of the missing child was there. We got paperwork to sign up as a group so that one of us could receive our rewards for the group together in the future. And with this little old lady, we went to the baker shop where we met her son, and it is her grandson who is missing. We thought that his minions looked a little bandity, but they went into the back and started making the baking stuff as usual at this good morning. And Hush acted rather strangely in the baker's vicinity, as though they had something to hide. Some kind of interaction there was going on behind the scenes. And because of that, we did take the quest and hurry out. We checked in the places that we were hinted at, which were in the sewers with the people and with the guard up north. We were told that the kid was playing outside with a Drake companion with some other kids in the north of town. So we went and investigated. We found some tracks and were told by the local kids that the missing child, who I believe is named Carl, was gone up to follow a gumdrop trail that they pointed out to us to find a house made of candies. So we tracked and followed this trail up to the house made of candies. We began to investigate it. There was a mat at the front door that said, "Please wipe your feet." So both Kilgore and Mako wiped their feet and entered and began investigating, while Kira, Rick, and Hush went off to the right to investigate what looked like a barn. Upon opening the barn, they found it filled with statues made of chocolate and were immediately attacked by some cockatrices. After managing to kill the cockatrices, we began investigating out back, where we found an outhouse wherein Rick found some toilet paper scrolls that were some magic scrolls and now has those in his inventory. We then went back into the main house, and Kira entered first, did not wipe their feet, and was attacked by the rug there. And Kilgore ended the rug's existence quite swiftly. Going through the house as well, there were 3 big bugbears that we found needing some sort of candy, getting their fur all up in it, and they said something to the effect of, "Uncle won't be happy with this." Now, to end the session off, we ended about there, but I just want to add in some cute little quotes that we noted down this week. Number 1 is that the group name that we decided on that we're adding to the group paperwork is Crush 'em and the Gabagool. We have a quote from Hush that says, "My muke was mited." We have a quote from Kilgore that says, "Kilgore fucking loves rocks." We have a quote from Mako that says, "A weird amount of cake." And we have a quote from the bartender that says, "What am I, the cake police?" Thanks for tuning in.